but I've been inspired. It started with Michael K. Vaughan showing off his Superman collection. Then Jim over at Mystery and Mayhem showed off his Batman collection. And then Steve Donahue showed off his Justice League collection. And so that gives me an opportunity to say 4 words that I've always wanted to say. To me, my X-Men. That's right. We are going to be going through my X-Men collection. My Batman, Superman, Justice League collection is actually decent when you combine the 3 of those. But nothing competes with X-Men. And the one that I want to collect is X-Men. And the one that I would do a crazy reading project like read every issue in the first run of would be the X-Men. The problem is I don't have those early Epic collections yet. But enough. Let's start going through what I do have. Time is limited for me, so I'm not going to be going super slow. Most of these, I'd say over half I haven't read yet, and I'm working through that. I'm almost through a giant Conan. I'm almost through the Man of Steel run on Superman. I'm almost through the Frank Miller run on Daredevil, and those are 3 that I've been pushing to get through before I just dive heavy into my X-Men. And so, of course, if you have X-Men, if there's one X-Men that you have heard about, that's probably going to be this one, the Dark Phoenix Saga. So this is one of the Milestones collection, where they collect issues surrounding a specific story, one of the major stories along the timeline of X-Men. And the Dark Phoenix Saga is well worth being considered as one of the great ones. It's excellent. If you've only seen it done in the movie format, you're missing out on some aspects of it. Extremely good. We have here X-Men Battle of the Atom. This is a more modern X-Men story where there are 3 different timelines of X-Men that kind of converge together. And as you would expect, that's going to lead to some conflicting views and ideas on what is actually the right course of action to take. One of the best X-Men collections I've read is this one, Messiah Complex. Sorry for the glare. Darn fluorescent light. But this one is magnificent. This one blew me away. And I can't wait to read it in the context of order with everything else that surrounds it. Another great one is House of M, which has Scarlet Witch uttering one of her most famous lines in all of comic history, "No more mutants," towards the end of this, which leads to, well, a very diminished number of mutants in the world. I think the single best collection I have, even more so than Messiah Complex, is this one, House of X, Powers of 10, which is all about, centered around this young lady and all of her lives, because she has multiple lives that she's able to live, and so she relives these events and sees different paths, trying to find which way leads through to the safe future. It is done exquisitely well. I think there's X of Swords that I really, really want to get, but like the collection of that is, I think, $75, $80. I think I get used to comic book prices. Then if we're talking about excellent X-Men, we need to go no further than the Astonishing X-Men run, volumes 1 through 4 here. This is the run by Joss Whedon, where he has a team of X-Men, and it is done extremely well. These 4 are a fantastic set of stories, featuring some really interesting dynamics, some travel to some different planets, and all of it just really pulling together nicely. And then I also have an Astonishing X-Men Volume 12, which I have no idea anything about this. I have not read this one yet, because obviously I'm missing 5 through 11. I have 2 epic collections. So this is volume 4. So this is It's Always Darkest Before the Dawn. So this is 1971 through 1975 for the X-Men. And then volume 21, The Executioner's Song, which I have read, this one. I have not read the Always Darkest Before the Dawn, but I think I've read some of those at least separately. But this is extremely well done as well. Now we're getting into ones where the vast majority are going to be, no, I haven't read them. I have some Excalibur Visionaries, volumes 1, 2, and 3. And yes, I consider Excalibur to be related, at least close enough. So I've got essentially issues 42 through 67 of Excalibur. So I need the Epic Collection number 1, The Sword is Drawn, before I want to read these. I also have 1 volume of New Excalibur, The Last Days of Camelot. This is a volume 2. I have Elektra and Wolverine, The Redeemer. So this is particularly because of the artwork, and this is, I believe, more of a story than a comic, but it still goes in with them. I'm excited to read that at some point in time. I've got a Deadpool. Deadpool counts. So Secret Invasion, Volume 1. I've got 2 out of 4 volumes of the complete Age of Apocalypse epic. So I've got volumes 2 and 4. So I need to find 1 and 3, and then I can read the Age of Apocalypse, which is supposed to be really, really good. Then they have a more modern run that they did, X-Men versus Apocalypse. So this is the 12. This is volume 1. I think there's only a volume 2 as well. So I'd like to get that and then just divulge into the Apocalypse stuff. I've got X-Men Forever. This is Back in Action. This is volume 1. Nice little thin one. This is Chris Claremont continues his landmark series with a new story and a new team. Even more twists and turns. So that should be a fun one to delve into at some point in time. I've got some X-Men First Class. This is Class Portraits. I've got First Class. This is volume 2. I've got a Prelude to Onslaught. So this is a volume 0, but I don't have Onslaught. I also have a Prelude to Schism, but I don't have Schism. So those are going to wait patiently. Eventually, they'll be on the horizon. So I've got the Extreme X-Men Savage Land. This is again by Chris Claremont in there. It's a 4-issue limited series, Extreme X-Men Savage Land. I've got some Uncanny X-Men, volumes 5 and 6. So She Lies with Angels and Bright New Morning. I've got some volumes of New X-Men. So this is Imperial. New Worlds, which this is volume 3. I believe the previous one was volume 2. I had and read volume 1, but I'm not sure where I placed it. That's okay. And then New X-Men volume 5. So this is the run by Grant Morrison, which is supposed to be really, really well done. I've got some Uncanny X-Men here. This is Hope, volume 1. I've got Ultimatum. So this has got Ultimate Fantastic Four and Ultimate X-Men. I've got Ultimate Origins, which is Secret History of the Ultimate Universe. So Ultimate Origins 1 through 5. Alright, so we have Old Man Logan, Wolverine, one of the best in this collection. Love it. Highly recommend it. We have Gen Next, This is also by Claremont. We have Generation X. This is volume 2. We have a volume of Exiles, volume 9. The Joys of eBay. This is Guardians of the Galaxy and X-Men, Black Vortex, which is extremely well done. I enjoyed it a lot. And then we have All New X-Men, volume 7. The Uncanny X-Force, Deathlock Nation, so this is volume 2. We have the All New X-Factor, volume 2. Or no, volume 3. Yeah, 3. Axis. We're almost to the end. So last run here. We have Ultimate X-Men. This is volume 1. I did just recently read this one, and it's interesting. Here's volume 2 in a hardcover. So you'll notice Ultimate Comics X-Men is now in volume 3, turns into Ultimate X-Men. So this one's World Tour. And then we have volume 5, Ultimate War. Volume 6, Return of the King. Volume 11, The Most Dangerous Game. And volume 14, Phoenix. So there you go. That is a monster stack of X-Men. Sorry that I tried going so fast. But, you know, kids, time constraints. I wanted to show them off. I wanted to at least show what I had. I will do a future video where I show Superman, Batman, and Justice League all in one video. We'll see if I can get to that this weekend. I think I might. Anyway, I will catch you later. Thank you, BookTube.